Hello, many thanks for joining us again on Healthy Lifestyle Africa on CRBC Radio 105.5. Healthy Lifestyle Africa is courtesy Yasupo Diagnostic and Medical Center, Merisleso Avenue, Calabar. My name is Erim Ega. Well, on the program today, we'll be looking at late night stomach. I know once you hear that late night stomach, you might think it's painful stuff I'm trying to talk about. No, some people have this maybe crave for food, even when it's any hour, ungodly hour of the night. We'll get to find out.
We advise that people should take their dinner maybe around 8 p.m. and should still be awake for the next 2 hours before they eventually go to bed, because a lot of metabolism is going on immediately after you finish eating, and there's so much acid in the stomach working. So when you assume that position, you have so much of this acid going back into the first part, so it brings about these heartburn issues and all that.
I have with me lifestyle expert from Asiokpo, Mr. Sunday Clement. Welcome to the program.
My pleasure, thank you.
The program that educates you on the lifestyle that helps prevent diseases. Healthy Lifestyle Africa. Tune to CRBC every Friday at 9 a.m.
From the outside, you heard me. I put a smile on my face when I was looking at midnight stomach. Somebody might just feel that maybe it could be a disease condition and stuff like that. But let's get to find out from you, what are midnight stomachs?
Okay, midnight stomachs are kind of stomachs that crave for food, or they crave for snacks in the middle of the night, or late at night. You know, everybody has a stomach, and when it comes to stomach, some people say, look, I work for my stomach. I don't joke with my stomach, you know. My stomach is my boss.
Yeah, that's your asset.
So my stomach is my boss, and I ensure that my boss is okay. But when you have a late night boss, you know, that dictates to you what time of the day you're supposed to eat, and start asking for late kind of food, you know, we classify them as either midnight stomachs or late night stomachs. We classify such people as having such stomachs.
Okay, but what would influence this kind of behavior? Is it a disease condition?
It's not a disease condition. It can be basically induced or influenced by the kind of lifestyle that we have, the kind of job we do. You know, some people, they get home very late, and
because of their profession,
because of the kind of profession they have. So they get to eat late every day. You know, sometimes it could be as a result of the fact that some people don't take breakfast early enough in the day, and during the day they have no time to go for lunch, and when they get back home they end up eating so much, you know. So basically it's usually introduced or influenced by the kind of work we do, and sometimes it could be as a result of tiredness, it could be as a result of stress, and sometimes people just lose appetite for food and end up dragging into the night, and sometimes it's fatigue, you know. So people get to drag into the night before they eat, and sometimes people sleep early and they wake up in the night and they feel so hungry because before they went to bed they didn't actually eat, and they have to eat in the middle of the night. So those are some of the things that actually influence this kind of behavior.
Okay, but I don't know, maybe you specify some of these hours you're referring to, maybe from 11 or 10 down to what hours, and aside that, let us really dig deep into the implication of eating that food.
Okay, you know, when we come to issue of late night eating, it is expected for people to sleep at night. That is basically what night is for, to sleep, to rest from the daily hassle and all that. So when it comes to eating, there's a way our system is designed, which I'll just kind of explain. When you eat food, it goes through the kind of pipe and has a kind of channel which leads into the stomach. Now, between the esophagus, which is the first segment of the tract that leads into the stomach, there's a gate. From the mouth down to that gate, that's to the mouth of the stomach, you have a kind of alkaline medium. And right in the stomach, you have an acidic medium. So when you eat and you just lie down, you tend to have what is called acid influx. That's, you have some of this acid splitting into the other part, which is alkaline, and people usually come up with some kind of heartburn, you know, because most people tend to eat late at night, and when they eat late at night, they usually don't stay up too late. They don't stay up not too long before going to bed, and they assume a position which makes it very easy for some of this acid, to go into this upper part, and they have chest bone. And research has shown that when this becomes a way of life, it becomes a constant thing, and you could have things like ulcer coming up, in that person's track. So
that's because of indigestion and all of that.
Because when you eat late at night, once you are done with the eating, you can imagine someone eating like 12 midnight or somebody eating like 11 midnight,
and you just go to bed.
By that time, you would feel so sleepy. We advise that people should take their dinner maybe around 8 p.m. and should still be awake for the next 2 hours before they eventually go to bed, because there are a lot of metabolism is going on immediately after you finish eating, and there's so much acid in the stomach working. So when you assume that position, you have so much of this acid going back into the first part, so it brings about these heartburn issues and all that. So those are the basically literal way I can explain.
Okay, so basically you've just said that late night eating could result in the ulcer.
Not ulcer mainly. When you don't eat, you have ulcer, but we call it heartburn.
Okay, heartburn.
Heartburn. That's what usually results. We call it acid alkaline influx. Where you have a medium. What is supposed to remain in a medium coming into the other medium. It's just like when you also experience that when you lie down and you eat. When you lie down and you eat, you have the gate opening and you have some of this acid escaping into the esophagus. So you have this heartburn influx too. So those are some of the health implications of that. It's not a disease.
Yeah, very well.
It brings some kind of discomfort. The person feels so discomfort.
Because I'm curious that because of the profession, especially in some cities where you hardly return home very early, for instance like Lagos, because of traffic and all of that. Maybe some professions that run shift, you're back from work, maybe broadcasting, you close at midnight, you've not eaten, and you get home and you must eat. So if you need to eat, what should the person do?
It's good to eat while you're at work. You don't have to wait until you get home before you eat. Or if you decide to eat late at night, then you have to assume a position by having an upright or sitting position for at least 2 hours before you go to bed. It really helps.
Okay, that means if you got somewhere you needed to eat like midnight, you must stay awake till 2 a.m.
Yes, to get the food digest and before you go to bed.
You're listening to Healthy Lifestyle Africa, a program that gives you information on how to prevent diseases.
All right, in case you just joined us today, we're looking at late night stomachs. Okay, eating very, very late at night. And I still have with me lifestyle expert, Mr. Sunday Clement from Asiokpo Diagnostic Center. In case you want to contribute to the program, what you can only do is send a short message to the number 0803-6755-958. You don't need to call or flash. Just send a short message. You are concerned about the program to this number 0803-6755-958. Okay, so now how do we mitigate this problem?
Okay, part of the lifestyle modification we can advise people is number one, to avoid, you can change your job, definitely. So you probably, maybe your job is what determines what time of the day that you have your dinner. The first thing is to, have this conscious, will that, look, I want to resolve to avoid eating late at night, or maybe I'm just going to resolve staying awake for about an hour plus before I go to bed, or let me ensure that whatever it is I'm going to have for lunch will be okay for me just to take me home. And when I get home, then I can take something light for my dinner. So that's another thing. Those are some of the first resolution you have to make. You have to make, and it has to be with your will and your choice. The other thing is that it's not as if it's going to lead to a disease or some kind of thing, but you tend to have some of this discomfort. And that's what we are advising. Why are you having discomfort? Nobody wants to be having discomfort. Then you can have a tendency as well to have pot belly, because when you eat late at night, you have consumed so much energy which you don't have anywhere to expend. So what the body does is to convert
digestion
them to
might
fat.
not take place.
Yeah,
and
as,
all of that.
as it should.
As it should.
As it should. Then you have to convert them. Then body have to convert them to fat for storage. And when they don't have anywhere to store, they store around the belly. So with time, people have a protruded kind of belly. Then it's also good as well when you eat late at night. You should take enough water. It helps to reduce the acidity of the system. So it's very good to take water as well. Then the next thing is that you shouldn't lie down immediately after eating the food, no matter how
you need
tired.
to sit
You need to sit for some time,
Okay.
just to get the food properly digested before you now lie down. You assume a lying down position. So these are some of the basic things that people need to consciously, take very, very important when it comes to late night eating.
Okay, Mr. Sunday Clement is a lifestyle expert from Asiokpo Diagnostics Center at Mary Slessor Avenue right here in Calabar. So let me thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
That's how it's been on the program Healthy Lifestyle Africa on CRBC Radio. In case you want to partake on the program, to find out one or two things about the program, you can always send a short message to 003-6755-958. Let me take the number again, 0803-6755-958. Let's have your comments on the program. Please do not call. My name is Erim Ega on behalf of the program producer, Stella Efiomo. Until the same time next week when we will come up with yet another interesting topic on the program. Have a blessed time.